All right, you guys, I think we're good to go. I think we're live. Welcome, welcome. So I know yesterday I kept saying that it was Wednesday. It's actually Wednesday. Hello, happy Wednesday to all of you guys out there. Welcome to our Faith Over Fear. I am so excited to be here with all of you guys today. Hopefully our internet is good to go. I know it's been a little spotty, so hopefully you guys are going to be able to hear me okay. And I am so excited to just bring this content to you guys today. This is session 8. It is social influencing. So this is the Faith Over Fear Summit. Welcome. If this is the first time that you have been on today, we do a giveaway every single day. And today we are giving away a Chase Your Brave shirt and a pop socket. So if you are hopping on, go ahead and comment hashtag Faith Over Fear. If you're watching this later, make sure you guys are commenting replay and hashtag Faith Over Fear so you can start getting those entries. So if you guys, every single time that you comment and interact on this live, that is going to give you another entry for that giveaway. If you tag somebody, you're going to get 2 entries. If you share this, you're going to get 5 entries. And then you're going to want to wait until the very end of this session because we're going to give you a call to action. And when you come back and comment done on this, you're going to get a few more entries. Okay, I believe 3 for that giveaway. So if we haven't met yet, you guys, my name is Ashley Walmer, and I am the one that is hosting this summit with some incredible guest speakers. And I am a founding circle member with Emirates International. I got started in this industry, gosh, you guys, I think I was 19 and I'm 36 now. A lot of life has happened to me in between then. When I started in this industry, I was going to school for aesthetics. I absolutely loved skincare. And then I got married to stay home with him, but I went through a divorce, you guys, and so life got shaken up for me and everything kind of changed, and it's really when I needed that extra little bit of income. And so my experience in this industry I jumped in when I needed that little bit of extra income, you guys, and I've had my success and my failures, but I'll tell you, today's topic is all about social influencing. It's building on social. It's building with a market and social media. That is not how I built to 6 figures though, you guys. I built in this industry all belly to belly. And when I say belly to belly, people are like, what does that even mean? It means person to person, you know, going into events. It's not like I was like hanging out with somebody attached to my belly and we were like walking around. No, it means I was getting in coffee shops, meeting with people, doing 3-way calls, doing parties. If you've been in a party playing company, things like that. That's how I've built. And honestly, looking back, do you guys ever wake up and go to your Facebook and click memories and scroll through? It's one of my favorite things to do. And I'm so embarrassed when I look through years and years ago at my Facebook post when I was in this industry. Nobody taught me what it should look like or how to post and how to post without being salesy. And do you guys remember like back, like I think it was like 8 to 10 years ago when it said Ashley Walmer is ... at the mall, you know, where your post was just what you were doing. Ashley Walmer is eating dinner right now with friends, right? It's hilarious to watch the evolution of social media and how it's really impacted everybody's life in a good and bad way. But today we're going to talk about the good. Okay, we're going to talk about how you can leverage your network and leverage social media for your business. And so what happened for me is I started to realize my strengths was person to person. My strengths were if I could get in front of somebody, I knew that I was going to sign because I was going to connect with them and relate with them. But I also couldn't ignore what was happening on social media. And I knew if I wanted to sustain a business and be fresh and be relevant, and if I was a leader in this industry and I had a team of people, that I couldn't just say, sorry, I don't know anything about social. I just build over here belly to belly, right? That I had to start learning some things and teaching myself this skill set, right? So I had to give myself grace during the process. So if you're a little bit like me, remember these words: done is better than perfect. Getting something up, getting something out there is better than nothing at all. That is how I started in social media, is just giving myself grace, loving myself where I was at, but also saying to myself, you know what, I need to learn this skill set. It's not okay if I just say, I'm never going to use social media. I'm best in belly to belly. because what I started to realize, you guys, is if I were to walk outside my door, leave my house, meet somebody at a coffee shop, whatever that looked like, I only had access to the people that I was exposed to. But when you pick up your cell phone and you click on one of those apps of a social network or a social market, you have access to millions and millions of people. All right. So, hold on one second. Just need to. Okay. All right. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there for a second. All right, we are back. So one thing I want to tell you guys before we start getting into the good content, the guest speakers and all of their goodies or tips and tricks with us is one thing to remember about the two biggest social networks right now. I know we're seeing tons of stuff on TikTok. Okay. We're not, I am super TikTok, like know nothing right now. So I know some of you that are millennials are sitting there thinking Facebook is old school. Facebook is definitely still relevant, and it's where the majority of people are all over the world. Facebook a lot of times is a little bit more your warm market. Okay. Instagram is a little bit more of your colder market. You're going to be connecting with people that you don't know as much on Instagram, where Facebook, you're going to be connecting with more people that you do know. The one tip I'll tell you guys before I bring on my guest speakers is, for me, when you're writing a post and you're putting it on Facebook or on Instagram, I usually tell people only post once or twice a day. That's going to hit the best in the algorithm. Your post, though, should have good content. Okay. So be thoughtful. Think about it. It should evoke emotion. All right. And then your story, using your stories, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, that's something you guys should be doing all throughout the day, right? Storify your life. Post once or twice with the good content, but use your stories throughout the day. Okay, so those are the few little tips I wanted to give you guys, because I don't want to take anything away from what Melissa and what Tammy are going to share with you guys. So I'm going to bring on a person that I got to meet because we both connected in Emrys. She is somebody that I absolutely adore, and of course we're twinning, because every single time I see this girl, we show up pretty much wearing the exact same thing. So she is somebody that from the second that I met her over the phone and started connecting with her, I knew instantly that I was just going to fall in love with her. And when I did get to finally meet her, she lives in Minnesota and I live in Michigan. I could just feel like God brought her into my life for a reason. I tell Mike all the time, I wish she lived closer to me. I wish she lived in Michigan, because I can just truly see her being somebody that is one of my best friends because of this industry. And I'm like, I just wish Melissa was here. She's somebody I could be like, hey, let's go see a movie with Melissa, and everybody that's on your team is just so blessed by you. So I would like to give you the floor. If you could unmute and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then give us the goods, girlfriend.
Okay, yay. Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa, as Ashley said. I love that intro. You just like almost made me cry. So I live in Minnesota with my husband and my 5 kids, and I'm a photographer by trade. And I got into network marketing almost 7 years ago. And it was just at a point in my life where I'd been doing photography for like 2 decades, and I just needed a little bit of a change of scenery. And I had never really been interested in network marketing until one specific opportunity came my way. And I was like, and I could tell that I could utilize social media to build this business. And I was like, okay, I think I could do this, because I like social media. I've always liked social media. My husband used to be an over-the-road trucker. And so when I first got into the industry, he was gone all the time, and I was homeschooling 4 out of my 5 kids. And so social media was such a great way for me to connect with people. I'm a very social person, but it was hard for me to like actually get out of my house. It was exhausting to go. My kids are ages, they're 6.5 years apart, 5 of them. So when they were little, it was exhausting to leave the house with all of them. So I just utilized social media to build relationships and to get to know people. I got to know people all over the world, actually, which was kind of crazy when you think about it. At least back then, it seems less crazy now. So then when I started doing network marketing, it was just a really natural fit for me to continue to share about my life on social media. So the thing I want to talk about is kind of your outlook and your thought process about utilizing social media. So a couple things that I hear people say is they're like, well, I don't want to be salesy. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to be salesy. Don't do that. That is going to drive people away. Your social media account, whatever it is that you're using, is not supposed to be a billboard. It is supposed to be a place to cultivate relationships. It's supposed to be a place to engage with other people, to share what it is that you love. So like for me, if you go to my Facebook page or my Instagram, what you'll know about me is that I love Jesus and I love yoga and I love my front porch and I love bonfires and I love my family and I love hanging out with my kids and I love movie nights and we have 3 dogs and we just had a bunch of puppies. And so because I just share my life, and you'll also know that I love Emrys. But it's not because it's a billboard, it's because I'm sharing with you what it is that I do throughout my day. And one of the things I hear people say a lot is they're like, well, my life is boring. Like I have nothing to share. The thing is, you guys, all of our lives are boring. They're all mundane to us because it's our life. Like most of us don't travel all the time or have these big, huge things that we do. We cook dinner and we make the bed and we go to sleep and we work and we do our thing. But what we do is that we share that with people and we want people to share that with us. I mean, think of all the people you're following on social media and they're sharing their quote unquote boring life. And yet you get to know their kids and you get to know what it is that they love and you interact with them because they draw you into what they're sharing. And so that's what we want to do, is share with people what it is that we are doing day in and day out. And like Ashley said, you don't want to spam your page with multiple posts throughout the day. A couple posts a day is fantastic. Stories is a great way to share a lot of what's going on without being without bogging down your feed. Another thing that I hear people say a lot, especially stay-at-home moms, is they're like, well, I don't want my kids seeing me on my phone all the time. I don't want to always be stuck to my phone. And I am always like, I agree. Don't be stuck to your phone. That is the beauty of working from your phone from home, is that you have all the flexibility in the world. And you don't need to sit on your phone for 10 hours a day. Like, I wouldn't even recommend that. To be honest, if you're doing that, you're most likely scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And so you're not actually doing anything relevant to your business anyways. I'm like, take 3 10-minute chunks out of the day, or 2 30 minutes out of the day, or 10 5 minutes out of the day. I use my bathroom breaks all the time. I go to the bathroom like every hour on the hour. So every hour I get a chance to like check in on social media for a couple minutes. And the goal is not to be wasteful on your phone. The goal is to be purposeful. And so if you aren't scrolling, like my kids don't watch me reading every article that pops up. They don't see me watching every video pops up. They see me building relationships and then building a team. And they know that that's me working. And then when we're out at the bonfire pit, I'm not working. Or when we're watching a movie as a family, I'm not working. When we're on a family walk, I'm not working. When I'm on a date with my husband, I'm not working. And so if it's really about how you think about it, if you think, well, I have to be on my phone all the time, you're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to build on social media. But if you remember, oh, the beauty is I don't have to leave and go to my office for 8 hours a day, but I can utilize social media as my office space periodically throughout the day. I just lost my train of thought. There was one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, I know what it is. If you feel overwhelmed by social media, don't try to utilize every social media platform out there. Like Ashley was talking about TikTok. My daughter, she's a pro at it. I don't use TikTok because or Snapchat I'm not super fluent on that. I use Facebook and I use Instagram because those are what I'm really, really comfortable with. Someday I will start probably branching out into other social media platforms, but choose one. If you are doing any social media, choose one platform and work on that platform, building relationships, talking to people, and sharing what you love. And I promise you, you will start to realize this is actually really enjoyable and it won't be overwhelming. And the other thing with that is don't overthink what you're posting. I have teammates, they're like, I spent an hour today doing this one post. And I'm like, that post should have taken 10 seconds. And I don't mean that hurtfully. I mean that like you overthought it. Just if you're spending more than 10 seconds, unless if it's like a very meaningful post that you really want to draw people in and share something that you're going through or something like that. If it's just regular posts throughout the day, it shouldn't take very long. Don't overthink it, just post it. And make sure that you're being authentic and real, and that you're also be careful not to be super controversial. You want to put posts out there that make people read them and feel like they want to keep talking to you. You don't want to put posts out there that make people feel like they want to argue with you. And so if you are focusing on other people as you're posting, if you're thinking through, will people feel loved? Will they laugh at this? Will they enjoy this? Will they want to engage with this? Then you are doing a fantastic job. So those are my tips with your thought process on social media.
I love it. Love it. Love it. One thing that you said that just kind of struck me too, when you were talking about, kind of reminded me of choose your hard, like so many times, you guys, like we all have to work for money. Money doesn't just like fall on us and just like fall off the trees, right? We all have to work for money. And so we get to choose our heart in an industry like this. Like, would I rather be, at a salon 10 to 12 hours a day, even though I loved what I did? Or would I rather be home with my kids and choosing my heart of trying to figure out social media and working a business like this? Like I always tell people all the time, like I'm unemployable. I've been my own boss for so long, nobody could afford me. Like I will never go work for somebody else again. Now that I've tasted what this freedom is like, it's awesome. And, to your point about just even with, controversial stuff out there, you guys, like I try to teach my team, pick the 5 things that make you, you. And center your posts around those 5 things, you guys. If one of your 5 things is politics, go for it. Okay. I'm giving you the green light. Go for it. If that is something that is one of the things that makes you, you, right? Because if you're already in that avenue, I am not. I have lots of thoughts and feelings about that, but you're never going to see me make a post about that because everybody would read that and go, why is Ashley posting this? This is not like her. She's usually uplifting. She's usually talking about a business. She's usually talking about health and wellness or her faith or some sort of inspiring thing or her kids and her family. Okay. I just went through my 5 things for you guys. So I don't usually talk about gardening. It's not one of my 5 things. I'm usually not talking about, I don't even know. I can't even think of anything else right now because those aren't my 5 things. So figure out what yours are and center your posts around that so people can start feeling what your brand is. All right, so now I get to bring on somebody who is also very near and dear to my heart. Her name is Tammy Evans, and Tammy and I connected, oh gosh, over a year ago, and I'm so thankful for that divine appointment. It was almost a year and a half ago. We got to meet each other and spend a weekend together, and I was so excited, and she decided to come just because her leadership, you guys, just it bounds her, right? Like she is just one of those people that when you get to have somebody like her on your team, you are so stinking excited for what she's going to bring to everybody around her, whether it's upline, downline, sideline. Everybody is just blessed by her. And she is one of the most real, raw, vulnerable people that I've ever met in my life. And because of that, like I feel a kindred spirit to her. She lives in Texas. Again, I live in Michigan, and I just can't wait for Corona to be over so I can come back and hang out with you and your dogs and kids and all the things. So Tammy Evans, I would love for you to unmute and share a little bit of your story with us and give us all your tips and tricks.
I know we need this to be over. We were supposed to be in Chicago this weekend together, but
I know.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you for having me. A little bit about how I ended up in this network marketing world. About 8 years ago, I was a single mom. I had a little baby boy. He was about 5 months old, and I did PR and marketing for a growing school district, and I just needed extra income, and I jumped in and immediately fell in love with the industry, right? So it's just kind of once I jump in, I learned everything I could. I became a nerd, I became a student, and I fell in love and was with another company, was only with the one company, and then ended up here with Emrys. And you do belly to belly. I am pretty much social media heavy. I say that, but a lot of my business starts belly to belly, but it moves over to social media. So when I meet someone, I engage with them, I get them onto social media because I feel that's where they can really get to know me as a person. Because if you're meeting someone, just say, I don't know, if you're in a Bible study, right? And you meet someone, you like them, you're only with them for a certain amount of time, and you're only going to disclose a certain part of you in that limited amount of time. So I always like to bring them over onto my social media so that we can keep engaging, we can meet, they can learn more about me, I can learn more about them. So that's I guess that's one of my tips right there. And in a sense is social media is a way to just take relationships from something very surface sometimes, or bound by time or area distance, and take it to that next level to create some depth to it. And then also at the same time, you might add someone on social media and then you start seeing their stuff and you're like, yeah, we don't mesh like I thought we would over here. And it's okay to hit that unfriend, unfollow. I promise I have lots of people that unfriend, unfollow me for whatever reasons, right? And so that's one of my tips. It really wasn't going to be one of my tips, but we'll just throw that one in for luck, or for extra. It's bonus on top. It's a cherry. And so I'm all over the place. All over the place. Like Ashley was saying, I'm going to kind of piggyback on some of Ashley's and then some of what Melissa said is your 5 things. I always say, find your voice on social media, because social media is so massive. It is broad. There are so many people out there. You need to have your own voice, who you are, your identity, and kind of stick to that on social media, because that is what shapes you. So whether you want to find 5 things, so like me, mom, Christian, I was a single mom. I am back to that. I'm a mom that is single now, right? And so I am divorced, and there's different things. I am a marketing person. I love caffeine. I am a sarcastic person by nature. I deflect with humor as much as possible. I'm not afraid to make fun of myself. But like Ashley was saying, one of the other things is I am transparent. I am vulnerable. I am willing to have some of those ugly conversations and say things that make people uncomfortable, because I just feel God gave me the gift of vulnerability and transparency. It's not always easy, especially on social media, because I'm going to get judged. I'm going to get praise. I'm going to help someone. I'm going to hurt someone. But I can't, when utilizing social media, we can't focus on how another person is going to necessarily interpret what you are doing if you feel you're walking in one of your gifts. And so not everyone is comfortable being transparent on social media. It's one of the things that I talk about. I will say, be transparent, be vulnerable, be you, but only to the extent that you are comfortable with. And so a lot of people will say, I'm vulnerable and transparent, but I always say I'm selectively transparent and vulnerable. I don't put it all out there until I'm ready to put it out there. And that comes with time. So, and knowing your platform, knowing your audience, and knowing that your voice matters to someone else, and that's who you need to be posting for. So I can be posting or making a post on, I use Facebook more than any other platform. I dabble in Instagram. I still can't figure it out. I swear, it's like I don't have the genetic makeup to figure out Instagram. I like watching TikToks because they're funny, but I'm like, I'm not gonna probably use this one in Snapchat. Forget it. I can't figure out how to do anything but make a picture on my face with the kids. But so Facebook is my platform, and that's what I have learned to use. And so I choose to bring people into my life in the parts that I want them to be in. And so that's the thing that one of my tips, and it piggybacks off Ashley, is find your voice, find what it is that makes you you. And if it is something, and sometimes it takes some self-reflection, like you got to look in and see what it is. But remember, someone needs to hear what you have to say. And if you are focused on not sharing what you really feel like you need to be sharing, then you're letting other people win. I hate saying that, but you're not being true to you. And so I don't put a post up and think, oh, so-and-so's not going to like that, or this one's going to get this feedback. I use social media to engage, to help, to inspire, to educate, all of these things. It is a tool for me. It is not me. It is a tool. It is a free tool that we have at our disposal. But you can either use, like any tool, it doesn't have emotion, right? So I don't know if y'all do Dave Ramsey. He talks about money. Money does not have emotion. It is neither good or bad. Social media is the same way. It is not good or bad. It's the user that creates the good or the bad. And so, like Melissa was saying, don't be controversial. People, unless, I mean, if that's one of your things, like politics, I'm never going to get involved. I have my opinions. I have my opinions on so many things, but to me, it's not the place to do it because I'm using this tool to build a business and build a brand. I don't want to discredit or discount anyone that might need this company or a company, since this can go out to other people, that needs it, that wants it, that I would work well with, but then they see my political view or my religious view. I share a lot of my religious views out there, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to turn someone away that could potentially change, this could change their life. And so I just try not to be controversial, but I'll say that and then say, some people are going to take the things that I say wrong, negative, because they have their own ideas, issues, whatever. I can't focus on that. We can't focus on that. So find your voice, your 5 things, be confident in that true self. You are you. You are the only you out there. You have a special gift. You have a unique voice. You just have to find it. And so that's one of my tips. And then the other one is, I'm going to get some negative feedback from this probably at some point. Or some people are going to shake their heads. And this goes to what Ashley was talking about, like in our stories, or in our memories. You are not your company. The company that you work for, that you represent, is an extension of you. They already have marketing. They already have branding. They already have a name. You do not need to be that company. You need to brand you. And when I say that, it's broad. Like, Ashley has done an amazing job branding herself with like a color scheme, and this is what she does. And this, you don't have to go to that extreme to brand yourself. As you grow a social media following, or you want to become that kind of influencer, or maybe take it to the next step, then yeah, start focusing on those things. But when I say brand you, go back to those 5 things that identify you, find your voice, brand yourself, and utilize the company as an extension of you. I don't want to be known as Emrys. Emrys is Emrys. I want to be known as Tammy, who represents a company that is amazing. And here are things about Tammy, and this is another dimension of her. And so your posts, you don't want to just like blast people with salesy posts about the company and everything. If you go and stalk yourself, like really stalk yourself on your social media, if it's all company, you got to chill out, take a step back, and come back to those 5 things. What makes me me? So an example, like I have a lot of anxiety. I always have. It is something that I talk about and I'm vulnerable with. I can use the company to align with that, but it's still me. So I use these products to help manage that. But the thing that identifies me, my brand, is I'm an advocate for mental health. I'm an advocate for anxiety and all of that. But I also represent a product and a company that aligns with that. And so you're not your company. You are you. So brand yourself as much as possible. Those are my biggest tips.
I love it, love it, love it. Your superpower is you, right? The world needs to hear from each and every one of you. And I think sometimes when you join a business like this and you see leaders, whether it's, on a Zoom or on stage or whatever, you start to sometimes feel like, well, what do I have to give? Or they're so incredible. Like, I'll never be up there, right? But you guys, your superpower is yourself. Like, the world needs you. And there's going to be people that hear from me and don't relate to me. They're not going to relate to Tammy. They're not going to relate to Melissa. You need to step up, speak. Like Tammy said, use your voice, because there are people out there that need to connect to you and what you have to say and what you bring to the table. I could not agree more, Tammy. Actually, one of the things that I was going to say to close this out was what you just said, you guys. Like, you are not Emrys. Don't be an advertisement. The company needs to advertise, right? Every single company and brand out there, they pay lots of money in advertising and marketing and PR, right? We don't need to take a corporate picture and post that. We need to be talking from our voice, like Tammy said, from what we have. So I'm going to tell you guys just a couple of apps that have saved my life. And then I'm going to give you guys your call to action, okay? So like I said earlier, done is better than perfect. So get something out there. It's better than nothing at all. But there are some things that I have used through the years, even honestly, you guys, taking a selfie, okay? You want to know how you can have a double chin versus not having a double chin? You want me to show you real quick? Okay, if you have your camera like this and you're holding it down here, guaranteed, see right there, double chin, right? You have it right here, maybe a little bit of a double chin. If you hold it up, and I'm not talking like this, we don't need to see that angle, okay? None of that, okay? If you just hold it up and angle your phone a little bit like this, you guys, it instantly slims you. It instantly makes you better. In fact, as soon as we get off the Zoom, I'm going to take a really bad picture of myself, and then I'm going to take a good one, and I'm going to put them side by side and put it in the comments. You guys can search for that later if you want. But that is just a tip on how to take a selfie, how to make it look good, how many times as moms, and I'm sure there's men on here that can relate to this as well, but how many times as moms have you guys not felt confident? And so you post tons of pictures of your kids, but you don't get in the picture with your kids, right? You're going to look back and miss out on those memories. Your kids are going to look back and be like, Mom, where were you in all of these pictures? Okay, start being confident, but sometimes taking a good picture of yourself. You guys, I'm me right now. I'm on my own journey of myself. Some days I feel confident, some days I don't, but I know how to take a good picture of myself to make myself at least feel a little bit better and more comfortable in my own skin. The next thing I would say would be a tip that the apps I was relating to is making sure that the photo is bright and crisp, having the sun or the light in front of you instead of behind you. I'm sitting in front of a window, you guys, and it's daytime. There is a reason that I have the blinds shut. If I were to open them right now, all the light would flood behind me and I'd look like a ghost or an angel, okay? Which that's kind of fun, but it drowns you out. You can see even Melissa. She's sitting, I can tell there's a window way behind her, but I can tell that there's a window kind of in front of her face because there's light on that, okay, guys? So that's another tip when you're taking a picture of yourself or of something else, maybe it's of a product or of your kids that you want to share on social media, find the light, whether it's a natural light or a light in your house, and make sure it's in front of you, in front of your face, and not behind you. So apps that I've used, I know I keep going on a tangent, are Pick, Tap, Go, all one word, PICTAPGO, okay? That one's gonna add filters, make it crisp, add a little bit of contrast, make it brighter so that you've got a really good image for social media. And if you're wanting my favorite app to create stories, I use the app called Over. OVER. Now, this is one that intimidated me for a little while. So I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch that, I believe it's like 15, 20 minutes where I kind of just teach you how to use the app. And speaking of tutorials, because we only have a little bit of time right now, if somebody is on here and you're wanting to dig into maybe a start to finish of how to work on Instagram or how to work on Facebook, I do have a boot camp, a 4-series boot camp on my Instagram channel that you guys can go to watch, where we talk through everything that we just talked through, you guys, only in definite segments where we're breaking everything down for you. So if you're really wanting to jump in and start utilizing social media in a bigger way that's going to maximize your results, start digging and refining those skill sets, kind of like we all said. So your call to action for today, all right? I want you guys to go out there and share your story. Share your why. Share what it is about you. Think about where you were before you joined your business, where you are now, and where you're going. And it could be as simple as 3 sentences. It could be a paragraph. It could be 3 paragraphs. And then take a picture of yourself. Take a selfie. People like to see faces. Take a picture with you and your kids if you want to. But use those tips I gave you to take a picture. Use the tips that we all gave you guys today and write a post and put it out there. Now, I know that some of you guys are feeling like already that that's uncomfortable to you. So what is this whole summit called Faith Over Fear. Okay. What we talked about, a couple of days ago, face that fear and rise through it, push through that. Okay. Choose faith, choose the fact that we know what we're doing. We're telling you guys to do this and choose that and rise through that. Okay. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Session 9 is all about goal setting. It's going to be called Decide and Run with Amanda White. I am super excited about that for all of you guys. Have an awesome Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I got the day right. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you later.